Welcome to my channel. I'm $2 Bill. I'm going to give you a response to Trump's interview with Megyn Kelly about his immigration policy and drug policy. I edited out some of what he said in order to make it not so boring for you guys, but anyone can go back and look at Megyn Kelly's interview with him if they want to see all of it. I support legalizing drugs. I think each individual adult should have the right to choose what they put in their body. Now, I don't think anyone should do drugs. I think you're making a big mistake, but as long as you're not driving or getting violent and causing problems, you should be able to do what you want to do with your body. I listened to Dr. Gabor Mate, who is a Canadian doctor that has treated a lot of drug addicts, say something very wise. He said, it doesn't make sense to say we're having a war against drugs. You cannot have a war against an inanimate object. That's like saying we're having a war against chairs or cars. It doesn't make sense. This is a war against people. I have family members who completely disagree with me on this, but that's okay. If you disagree with me, that's okay too. Let me know in the comments what you think. Sometimes people think that I only want to legalize drugs because I want to do drugs. That's not true. I did used to do drugs though. My drug of choice was alcohol. I drank a lot, and because of it, I developed a heart flutter and had to have 2 heart surgeries for it. So I would recommend people not doing alcohol. But alcohol is just as much of a drug as cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and fentanyl. And people are dying, ruining their health, and ruining their lives because of alcohol. But it does not make any sense to have alcohol legal and all the other drugs to be illegal.
You also said recently that if you're reelected, you would send special forces and, quote, other military assets to Mexico to stop the drug cartels. The Mexican president is very much against this. You're going to start a war?
Well, he's a friend of mine.
Well, he might be a friend of yours now, but if you send our military down to kill Mexican drug cartels against his wishes, he may not be a friend of yours for much longer. Also, if you succeed in forcing him to pay for the wall, he may not be your friend for much longer.
No, I didn't say that. Somebody said I said that, and actually it was met with great applause, if you want to know the truth. They said that I said that at a meeting.
So you're not going to
use the pen. I'm not going to say what I'm going to do. I mean, I may do something. Something has to be done. Look.
So he's not saying he's going to do that, but he's not ruling it out either, which means he might do it. Trump has not learned his lesson from history.
I have no focus on the past, except that you have to learn from history. You have to learn from the past.
We already tried this approach. We sent our troops down to Colombia in an effort to kill Pablo Escobar. And in 1981, they did kill him. And all that happened was other poor people, the Cali cartel, took his place. Every drug cartel member you kill and every gang member who sells drugs that you arrest, there will always be somebody in poverty willing to take their place.
We're losing, I think, 300,000 people.
Okay, but let me ask you, I get it, and I cede to you that there's a serious problem that's affecting
we're losing more
Americans.
money than if we were actually in a war.
But
not money.
A lot of the Republicans are saying they're going to do this.
We're losing more lives. If we were in a war, we wouldn't be losing, because I believe the number is 300,000.
Let's say, for argument's sake, he's right, that we're losing 300,000 people a year to drugs. You know what that tells me? It tells me what we've been doing isn't working. So maybe instead of stepping it up a few notches, maybe we ought to start doing something different.
But we can't have a war with Mexico.
No, it's a war on cartels.
Taking military action against Mexican drug cartels against the Mexican president's permission is an act of war.
Mexico's petrified of the cartels. The cartels are running Mexico.
The reason for this is because of our idiotic war on drugs. If we didn't have this war on drugs, it'd be a lot more peace in Mexico. I believe the best way to hurt the Mexican drug cartels is to legalize drugs, because that would put them out of business, because nobody's going to buy drugs illegally when they can go buy them legally.
But if we send our troops across the southern border, you know better than I do that the
but
Mexican president, if he doesn't like it, we're in a war.
I know, but I'm not too worried about that war.
Why is he not too worried about going to war with Mexico? Is it because Mexico's military is a joke compared to our military? The Mexican drug cartels still use guns, so for our military to attack them would be putting our soldiers' lives at risk. Also, it seems like whenever our military attacks anybody, innocent civilians just about always get killed, along with the bad guys. So for him not to be too worried about this is really concerning to me. I think it's a good sign that he should not be commander-in-chief of our military.
Mexico is sending their troops into our country in the form of illegal aliens.
To call the illegal aliens troops is just ridiculous. I've had the pleasure of getting to know some of these people, and they are just like us. They are suffering in poverty in Mexico, so they come over here out of desperation in order to try to have a better life for them and their families. I've seen their kids playing soccer. To call these people troops is so ridiculous to me. I think something Trump and a lot of Republicans don't understand is a lot of these Mexicans don't want to come over here. They love their country, but they do anyway because they are suffering in poverty and it's out of desperation. And just to let you know, from what I've seen, they all seem to be paranoid about being deported all the time, and they probably have good cause too. Just to let you know, I do support securing our southern border because I think letting everyone in is unsustainable. But I think we need to do it in the most humane way possible. And I'm open to building a wall if that's the best way to do it. But it would seem like to me a better way is to invest money in drones to help the Border Patrol to patrol the areas. Maybe I'm wrong. I am completely against Trump's zero tolerance policy where he was separating kids from their families. That's just plain cruel.
These people are destroying our country. And it's amazing. You say why? Somebody said the vote. I said they don't need the votes, they cheat.
And how do we know that Trump's not cheating?
So they don't really need the votes. And the votes would be in a long time from now, okay? They become citizens, but, they'd use them anyway. But it's not that. They actually must want to destroy our country.
Just because somebody disagrees with you because they have a heart for the immigrants coming over does not mean they want to destroy our country. Sure, we can disagree with them. They might be wrong. They might be right. But don't make up lies about them.